Instead of focusing on winning arguments, we're teaching the basic fundamentals of sales and marketing and how we can use them to win in the world of politics, teaching you how to meet people where they're at on the issues they care about. Welcome to the Brian Nichols Show. Well, hey there, folks. Brian Nichols here on another fun-filled episode of the Brian Nichols Show. I am, as always, your humble host, joining you from our lovely Cardio Miracle Studios here in sunny Eastern Indiana. The Brian Nichols Show is sponsored by our phenomenal sponsors like Amp America. Go get the news you need to know without the extra corporate media bias or fluff. And yes, as I previously mentioned, our amazing studio sponsors, Cardio Miracle. You can see over my shoulder here, I have my most recent episode with said Cardio Miracle team. This was from Lori Martin Gregory. We had a great chat there. So if you missed that conversation over on YouTube's, be sure to go ahead and check it out. But joining us today, we're going to stick in the health conversation and more specifically in the world of Cardio Miracle. But I think what we're going to do today is really dig into the importance of a comprehensive physical health, physical fitness, because we see people really start to niche down, right? You'll have people focusing on mental health. You'll see people focusing on physical health, emotional health, so on and so forth. But those are all just individual pieces to the puzzle. You have to look at the whole health holistically. So to discuss that, I've been on the show here many a time talking about my weight loss journey. And I said, well, how funny it is that I have another guest on the show who not only has his own weight loss journey, but lost basically the same exact amount of weight. We both lost 180 pounds. So I'm really excited to dig into today's conversation. Joining me, yes, from Cardio Miracle, it is the son of the CEO, John Hewlett, is Josh Hewlett joining us here on the program. Josh, how you doing? Happy Saturday.
I'm good, Brian. How you doing today?
Can't complain, my man. Can't complain. Just living the dream. It's a sunny day here in snowy Indiana, which I will take. I know you're out in sunny Arizona, a little bit different weather than I'm experiencing here. But what are you doing in Arizona today?
Yeah, Phoenix, Arizona. We're at the AmFest. It's the we're gonna listen to Donald Trump tomorrow, and but it's just been a weekend full of just power, man, just powerhouses. Listening to Charlie Kirk, he's putting on this event, and that what's kind of exciting is the age demographic at this event is young. It's kind of crazy. It's a lot of college students. I mean, last night they had this like whole college speed dating like dance thing or whatever. Like I've worked so many events and I've never seen anything like it. It's pretty exciting.
AmFest is pretty darn cool. I know our buddy Cliff Maloney, he's down there right now representing Amp America and the PA Chase from Citizens United. So really excited to see all the good folks getting together and making some real changes happen, right? It's talking of making changes happen there, Josh. What a segue, right? It's like I'm a professional, guys.
I love it.
Let's talk about some changes. I personally, I've gone through here on my show many a time my personal weight loss journey. I went from being 385 pounds. I lost about 180 pounds, got down to 205 at my lightest. And I was running 5Ks every other day at the end of my weight loss journey. And then I started to get into weightlifting and I started to feel like a big, strong man. So I'm around like 265, 270. It's kind of my playing weight right now. But like, I know you started out with the lifting of heavy things and that kind of turned into a overall health journey. So like, kind of give us the picture, Josh. Like you start out in the world of professional weightlifting and powerlifting. And now you're in a situation where you've lost 180 pounds yourself. Tell us how you got to where you are today from where you started.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. I went to in college. I was powerlifter, and I got a full ride scholarship for football. And it was like the bigger you were, the more the coaches liked you or whatever. So, but what was kind of crazy is as a 300 pounder, I could run a 4.840. So I was pretty quick for this big 300-pound guy, and so they'd have me be a pulling guard or something. So that was cool. But then I hurt my knee, and basically they were just kind of like, good luck, with life. So I got up in college, I got up to 390, and then I, couple years went by, obviously, and then I wanted to get into strongman competing. So I started lifting heavy cars and flipping telephone poles, and and I was like amazed that I could do that, and it, like, amazed some of my friends at the time, and I was like, "Ooh, this is cool." So, and I can be an athlete still, and I can eat whatever I want. So that for me was awesome, but it certainly wasn't the end goal, because at the end of that, when you're getting up to, deadlifting 500 pounds or more, you do need weight behind you, but once you're done with that journey of lifting heavy stuff and competing, and I wasn't as good as I thought I was. And so I hurt my back, of course, and I just kept eating the way I was eating and not working out 4 hours a day, and I got up to 470, was about 100 pounds more than your heaviest. So it was kind of crazy. I'm 6'3", so it's not like, it kind of, it was well distributed, but it was still kind of crazy waking up one day and being that big.
Well, and not to take away from your story, I'm just Josh, I'm sorry. I think people are listening to your story and kind of hearing some echoes, because this is the same thing I've said. I was 300 pounds when I was playing football back in high school. I too was a beast. I was offensive line and defensive line. I was getting like 4 to 5, 6 sacks a game. I was, pulling guard most of the time as well myself. And then I hurt my knee. I hyperextended my left knee. I was out the rest of the season. I was going to play football in college. That kind of just went poof, gone. And to your point, right? That's kind of like, well, what do you do now? I ended up, instead of going into the powerlifting world, I started going to rehab, and then I don't know what it was. I just discovered that I really liked running. And mind you, that I really liked running was very short lived, about like a 2 to 3 year period where I really, really liked running. But I was running like a 5K every day, basically. And I got down to like I said, 205 at my lightest. And I was running a mile time in like, I think it was 7 minutes was my mile time at that point. So, running 3 miles, 3.1 miles in just over 21, 22 minutes. Like I was a fast dude. And then I discovered on the other side of the aisle, right, the weightlifting after I'd already lost a lot of my weight. So it's just interesting, because you kind of approached it from like a, hey, I'm a big dude and I can lift heavy things. Whereas I was a big dude as well, and I could lift heavy things, but then I was like, oh, well, I want to go to like running now, I guess. So like, what was it when you became a strong man that was kind of like the moment you realized, hey, even though I'm strong and I can lift really, really crazy heavy things, like doing a deadlift over 500 pounds and whatnot, but like there's now a moment where I say, I need to make some changes. Like, what was it for you that was that aha moment? And I guess what led you to get to that point?
Yeah, I had a couple walks of shame, is what I call them. My first one, pretty significant. I was flying to California, and I had a seatbelt extender, and I
Mm.
still couldn't get it to click. And the stewardess was nice, but she's just like, we can't have you not have a seatbelt. So I had to get off in the back of the plane. Of course, I was in the back, and I walked, and everyone was mad because we were holding up the flight. And then I drove out to California to be with my family at the time, and I went to Disneyland, and I couldn't get the seatbelt, or the bar down on
The
Space
clicker thing.
Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Space Mountain. So they they came to me privately as they could, while I'm sitting there with this giant line of people looking at me, wondering what's holding it up. And the guy said, "Hey, man, I'm really sorry, but we've had someone like you like force it down, and I'm sure you can force it down, but then we have to pump it to have it release." And he said, we've had this before, and the jaws of life had to come in, and they took apart the entire Space Mountain little cart, and they said they shut down the ride for like a day.
Wow.
And he's like, so we can either do that, or you can just leave. And so I left, and I took that walk of shame, man, and I was just like, I'm done with this. Like, I can't keep doing this. And at that time I had severe sleep apnea, and I had to have the sleep apnea machine plus two full oxygen tanks that I had to rent every month for like $280. And
Wow.
so it was ridiculous, man. So I really had a couple realizations that were pretty serious, and I just decided, enough is enough.
And
So
sometimes that's what it takes, right? Is like that just there's that moment. And I've told this story before as well, not my weight loss in particular, but my stopping drinking. And there wasn't really like it wasn't like a thing I was thinking about or anything I was really like preparing to do. It just kind of happened,
yeah.
right? Like it was July 4th weekend, 21, and I at that point we'd gone out to have some cocktails with some friends, and you had a game night, charcuterie board, whatever, and I only had like 2 or 3 drinks that night, so I wasn't even like I wasn't drunk. I wasn't. I mean, I was a little buzzed, not really super tipsy. And then I got home, couldn't sleep worth a lick, right? And then as I wake up in the morning and I feel like I got hit by a truck, and I'm like, I had 3 drinks. There is no reason I should feel like complete death today. And at that moment, I was like, okay, I guess I don't want to feel like this anymore. So I just said, that's literally why I was like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. Ah, this sucks. And then I just I just didn't drink anymore. Like it wasn't a conscious thing of saying I'm not drinking. Like I have a problem. It was like I just feel like shit when I drink, and I don't want to feel like shit anymore. So but it's funny though. Like there are things that will happen where you kind of have these realizations, right? And for me, like I didn't really have a like a space mountain or an airplane situation for my weight loss. Mine was more so it was a doctor's visit, I guess. And I'm thinking back to it really in being black and white. It was a doctor's visit I had where my doctor, and mind you, this was when, to your point, I'm 6'5", right? So I was 380, I was 6'5", I carried it well. And she's like, Brian, I gotta be real with you. You're 17 years old at the time. She's like, you're 17, you're 385 pounds. I don't know how much longer you're gonna have if you keep this up. And like when you're 17, you're not thinking about your mortality, right? Like I'm getting ready to go to college. I'm playing football. I'm in the theater stuff. I'm in mock trial. I'm in whiz quiz. I'm doing all these things. I'm in jazz band and choir. And like all of a sudden you get hit with real life stuff. And it was weird for me. Like it was one of those big life slaps in the face of, hey, you gotta take this stuff seriously. And I don't know, Josh. Maybe it's like this is a thing for a lot of younger men. And I don't want to say like I ever felt invincible. I didn't, but I just didn't think about my own health, my own mortality. It was always about other people, older people, people who were doing stupid things like drinking and driving, or like like an obvious A plus B equals bad outcome C kind of things, right? And I guess like for me, when I was 17, I had that doctor's visit. It was like the ultimate, whoa, all right, I need to really think about this differently. Did you ever have anybody like that in your life kind of being like, hey, Josh, let's maybe try not to eat as much, or let's try to live a healthier life? Or was it just one of those things where it was what it was?
What's funny is that like yeah, I mean I remember that I was more ashamed. I was like I had this self-shaming thing happening with myself, and went to go represent my brother. My brother Jason is the performer, right? And so I went to go film him or something at his event, and I had to sit in the front of and sit behind him because he wanted me to film the crowd, and see the reaction. And I was so embarrassed myself because I couldn't fit in his shirt that he wanted me to wear. And um it just, I mean, it barely over fit over my arm, and so I said to him, afterwards, I said, dude, I'm so sorry, like I'm so embarrassed I couldn't wear that shirt. And he said to me, he's like, dude, I know that you're going through it. Like, I know that you're going through this shame. And he goes, I'm not worried about your, like, what you look like. He's like, I'm worried about, one, how you feel. inside your own mind. And two, he said, I am worried about, you sleeping. I mean, you remember that we never met, um, or that you never met your grandpa because he died in his sleep. And he went upstairs one day on like Thanksgiving to take a nap, and he never woke up. My grandpa. So yeah, man, it was, and he died young, and he died of heart disease, and literally, I believe he died from sleep apnea. Because there was no machines or anything back in the day. But we this moment where my family, like, really, I think they were concerned about me, but they were all accepting of me because I've always been this up and down. Sometimes I look great, sometimes I don't, sometimes, but in my 20s my lowest was 212, and my, obviously my highest when I got up when I was like 34, 35 is when I hit that 480, 470, 480. So, but I tell people all the time, now that I've lost 180 pounds, I did that all through like ketogenic diet.
Yep.
And I've gotten more criticism for intermittent fasting and ketogenic diet than I did for slamming a stuffed crust pizza in one sitting, so, so it's kind of crazy, man.
Well, and it's funny you mentioned that, right? You did it the right way. And that's not to say that anybody who takes their weight loss or their health journey seriously and uses medical intervention is doing it a wrong way. I just there is something about, and we talked about this on a few episodes ago. It's like there's this easy button mentality in a lot of folks right now. I say right now, that's an forever thing. Everybody's always looking for the easy button in life. But when you look at people who are like, oh, I'm going to go get the gastric bypass surgery, or, oh, I'm going to go and start taking Ozempic. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Let me just preface this. It's just, if you're only addressing symptoms versus addressing the root cause, and this is something that Lori and I talked about back when she was on the show here earlier, was that, like, you're constantly going to see those symptoms reemerge. They're going to manifest, if not in the way that they did previously, they're going to manifest in different areas, right? So even though you maybe are losing weight because you're taking Ozempic, right? If you're still eating the same garbage, your body's not processing the food properly. And we talked about, again, with Lori, many a detail in terms of the different subsidies, the different lobbying groups that try to help put these different harmful things into our food, and how it's difficult to just like avoid them, and how a lot of it's actually it's intentionally done. But then just going to this idea of personal responsibility and personal autonomy, and just saying, listen, nobody's coming to save you. You got to be there and do it for yourself, right? And this is where I look at what you guys have at Cardio Miracle as like truly a revolutionary product. And listen, folks, like you see the ads here in the show every episode. You hear me say, welcome to the Cardio Miracle Studios here in sunny Eastern Indiana. I've been using it for now just about 2 years, and I saw the results for myself. Blood pressure dropped from the 90s to the 60s. I see my heart rate, rather, my blood pressure go from the 140s over 90s to the 120s over 80s. Like, feeling the energy, feeling the pump at the gym, feeling like waking up in the morning and I have just a renewed sense to the day, right? And it's because I'm putting good stuff into my body, stuff my body actually needs. And how about this, Josh? Because this is kind of, I think, where a lot of folks get stuck. There is the stuff that we need, and then there's the stuff we want, right? And the stuff we want usually ends up being the stuff that's bad for us. So you mentioned the ketogenic diet. I did keto for a little bit, and one of the things I was really excited about with keto is that it allowed me to eat stuff I like, right? Like, I got to eat those big juicy porterhouse steaks. I got to go eat the I would think previously, right, back if you went to a public education, the not good stuff's for you. Stuff that's higher in fat content or just overload protein. Where's my carbs? Where's my fruits and veggies, right? And it's not to say those things are bad, but it's an understanding of how what your body needs, right, in order to function properly. And I don't mean to keep on, having echoes back to my conversation with Lori, right? But the fuel that you're putting in your body versus the stuff that feels good, the stuff that tastes good, right? So, like, what was it when you hopped on keto that you saw as like one of those, hey, I'm checking the box for the stuff my body needs, the fuel, but also like I'm getting some of the stuff I want too, the good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the road. I'm on the road a lot. Excuse me. And so when I can stop by Wendy's and get a classic triple, and I can just throw the bun out the window and eat the patties, and sometimes I'll get two of them. And I had, it's funny that how many people these fast food workers see every day. This lady that was handing me the classic triple or a triple baconator every day at Wendy's. She would be like, one day she stopped and she goes, "What are you doing?" And I grabbed the bag and I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "You come here every day and you get a triple baconator and you're melting. Like, you're losing so much weight." I said, she sees hundreds of people a day.
Yep.
And so I just told her I throw the bun out the window, and she's like, "Oh, I couldn't do that," and that's it. So we were done. So I also said, I parked my car. I went in and talked to her. I gave her a Cardi Miracle card, and I said, "Look, my cornerstone for me is Cardio Miracle because it gets me the fruits and vegetables that I need, over 50 whole fruits and vegetables. But at the same time, I'm getting in the ketogenic diet where I'm burning fat instead of glucose. And that's why I've never gone full carnivore because, you can't, like, I don't feel like you can be full carnivore if you're eating carbs.
Mm-hmm.
And so with the keto diet, I would do between like probably 50 grams, maybe up to 50 grams of carbs a day. And, but the most important thing about my whole journey, I think, was the intermittent fasting, intentional eating. I would intermittent fast from 6 p.m. to 2 p.m. the next day. And in between that time, I would drink Cardio Miracle to keep me satiated so that I didn't have these sugar cravings or I didn't have these big spikes. And the only thing that Cardio Miracle spikes when you're fasting is your vitamin D. So actually utilizes the vitamin D from your fat cells. And we're one of the only products that I know of that has tested that and found that to be true. So the intermittent fasting, the keto diet, and Cardio Miracle as a cornerstone for me was my perfect package for success.
One thing I want to also bring up to folks, right? Because and listen, we're a sales show here on the Brian Nichols Show, Josh. Where as much as we are politics, we talk about sales and marketing because that's important. And in sales, one of the things we talk about is how do we overcome objections or block objections, right? And Josh, elephant in the room, despite we've had a lot of success here selling and promoting Cardio Miracle, but one of the objections I get is, Brian, it's expensive. It's expensive stuff. And I always say, well, what's your health worth, right? Like, what do you value your health at? But also, Josh, there's something I didn't realize. And I got an email from you guys, like, I think a week ago, saying that now Cardio Miracle is also HSA readily available. So you can use your HSA and FSA funds before the end of the year, mind you. So get to that, folks, as we're recording here today on the 21st of December. You can get those funds tax-free, right, to buy Cardio Miracle. So not only are you investing in your health, but you're doing so and saving a buck along the way too. But talk to us about that price tag objection, Josh, and what you overcome that with when folks are like, man, why am I spending $100 on a bottle of Cardio Miracle for a month's supply when I can just go to the gym or I can go, just go to the grocery store and get healthier food. What say you?
I love what say you. I love that. One of my favorite lines is that first of all, you can't feel prevention, and second of all, I love talking about how expensive is a latte every morning, or how expensive is, Frappuccino every
By the
morning.
way, I don't mean to interrupt. I had an employee once, Josh. She used to get one of those Starbucks frappe things. It has 75 grams of carbs in it, just
Sure.
from sugar, mind you. And guess how much it costs every day? $6.
Yeah.
$6 a day, every day, times 5. So let's say 6 times 5 days a week. That's $30. 30 times 4 times or 4 weeks in a month, at very least. It's $120 a month just in garbage you're putting in your body. Like, come on, Julie, what are you doing? Oh,
Exactly.
sorry, I said her name. Sorry, Julie, but stop drinking the crap. Stop drinking the crap, Julie. Come on.
And so for a little over $1 a day, $1 a serving, sorry, you can take Cardio Miracle and you can have over 50 whole and organic fruits and vegetables that if you were to go to the store and put a price tag on each one of those, trust me, it's going to be a whole heck of a lot more. And so I know it may seem like a lot when you're buying the pouches, but once you're taking that every day and you're feeling the benefits, you're feeling the drive that you have, one of our most common side effects, if you will, is brain fog. So people will get rid of that brain fog, and I call it side effects, but it's more of a, obviously it's a positive. So really helps with people's brain fog. Some people it helps with their energy. For me, I wouldn't exactly. It just like helps me feel alive. Like I just feel healthier. I feel like I'm taking care of myself, and I feel like when I'm taking Cardio Miracle, I'm like I'm doing something good for my body first thing in the morning instead of putting something with sucralose in it or with aspartame or with real cane sugar. It's like why would you start your day like that? That's my that's my opinion, of course. But yeah, with my intermittent fasting from 6 p.m. to 2 p.m., yeah, I wake up in the morning and I'm starving, and so sometimes, but and I just pound a couple scoops of Cardio Miracle, and I'm good to go till 2 p.m. I mean, it's awesome, man. I love it. So it's been what John calls it. I call my dad John, but what what John calls it is Cardio Miracles the Great Mulligan, because it's helped it helps people if they're not absolutely stellar perfect on their diet, that they still can have this mulligan and still receive this great health benefit from Cardio Miracle. So
Good stuff. Josh, as we're going towards the back half of the episode here, I like to give the audience not just the stuff to educate, enlighten, and inform, but also the stuff to action going forward, right? So like some actionable things and just elephant in the room, right? We are, as a society, the most unhealthy we've been ever. I would dare say. You look at the rates of heart disease, diabetes, morbid obesity. I mean, it's shocking. Cancers, and a lot of folks. I'm not going to generalize and say all folks, but a lot of folks. A lot of these issues could just be solved by putting the right stuff in their body, starting to work out some, just like doing the basics. So I know when I was in the 385-pound version of myself, and I'm sure you and you said 475, right?
yeah,
475 version of yourself. Like I'm sure there was like that moment where we have the realization of saying, okay, I need to do something different, right? Now what? What do I do? And it's very scary when you're at that first step, because you have that moment of the realization and you realize like, okay, there's no Mr. or Mrs. Congressperson that's going to pass a bill to make me healthier. There's no magic pill that a doctor's going to give me to make me healthier. Like, okay, I need to start doing some stuff differently. So Josh, when the folks who are listening here today, if they find themselves in their own iteration of the 370 or 385 or 475 versions of yourself and myself from our past, like to take that first step, what are some of the things that you found success in that you would recommend to other folks as they begin their weight loss health journey?
I love it. Yeah, going back to my family, my brother, he challenged me. He said, he goes, what time do you get up every morning to go to the bathroom? Because I get up every morning. People have like this routine where they get up every morning, go to the bathroom, and then they start their day or they go back to sleep. And I said, I wake up pretty consistently at like 4:17 every morning to go to the bathroom. And he goes, when you get up, I want you to get dressed and put your shoes on and go to the bathroom. And I was like, why? And he said, after you go to the bathroom, go for a walk. And he goes, just even if you go for like a 5-10 minute walk. And that challenge, like I actually did it, and I felt kind of crazy getting up at like 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning and putting on my shoes and getting dressed and going to the bathroom and then going for a walk. And it didn't matter if it was raining, snowing, if it was not. I mean, I was out there every morning. And so in 2022, I walked over 5 million steps in 2022, and then I wanted to beat that in 2023. And so in 2023, I walked 7.6 million steps in
Brother,
2023. Yeah.
how many steps do you get in a day, by the way? I'm just curious.
It's like between 25,000 and about 28,000 a day.
How many pairs of shoes do you go through a year?
A lot.
Holy hell. 25,000 a day?
Yeah.
How long does that take you?
If I did it, I don't, I don't walk like 8 miles, like 8 or 10 miles straight, but yeah, I mean, I'll carve out an hour or two at least for my day to get my walks in, and I still walk. That's my new staple. And so I'll wake up before the sun comes up and I'll get in 5 miles, and that'll take, with walking, it'll take me an hour and a half. And I've got people over in the East Coast that I need to talk to every day, so I just get on the Bluetooth with them and I just go for walks. And it kind of is distracting when you hear with these cars or whatever, but sometimes at 4 in the morning, it's not, it's a different world at 4 in the morning. And so just got to take that first step. I love that you said that, and you just got to do it, and walking, I think people sleep on walking. Like, it's such
There's a quote right there. People sleep on walking. Yes.
it is such an effective tool that with my bad knees, with my bad back, like I've got all these lingering health problems from high school and college, and you can walk anywhere, absolutely anywhere you can walk. And so every day I shoot for at least 12,000 steps a day is what my bare minimum is, 12,500. And like, I mean, here at the Amfest, I mean, the other day, I think Boston Mike and I did like 30,000 steps, man. It was crazy. So, yeah. And the convention center is only 3 miles away. So I walked there the other day. Yeah. So,
man. And it's funny, Josh, like, I just feel that we kind of have like the same story a little bit, because when I first started my weight loss journey back, at the tender age of 17, I didn't know where to start. Right. And I remember I was really self-conscious. I didn't want to go to the gym. Because I was a big boy, right? Like, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. And I'm not going to get in a treadmill and have my flubs like flubbing all over the place. So I grew up on an old farm, and we had this big abandoned barn. And for anybody, think of a barn, and you have the big, when you walk into the barn, there's that big middle section, right, where the farmers will walk up and down. You go feed the cows, and you scoop up the cow shit and you put it into the gutter, that stuff like that, right? And mind you, this is 15 years removed from us having cows in this barn, so it's empty, it's big, it's about 200 feet long or so in total. And I lived in the middle of upstate New York, so middle of nowhere, is frigid temperatures, so couldn't really, go outside in the road, and you're competing with snow plows and ginormous banks of snow. So I went to the barn. And I walked up and down the middle section of that barn, back and forth, probably, 50 to 100 times a night for about a year. And it was weird, like going out there and doing that by myself. And just, there was something inherently though about doing it that felt right. And right, like this was back before we had step trackers, Josh, right? For all those kids listening, we didn't have step trackers back in the day. You just kind of you guessed. You're like, I think I walked a lot today, but I don't know. So being able just to go out and do something to, again, take that first step, and just walking. I mean, you said it. This is gonna have to go in a t-shirt. People sleep on walking, right? Like there is so much value of just standing up and walking, just taking the first step and doing something. Not only is it good for you physically, I don't know about you, Josh, but when I first started walking, it was really good for me mentally. Like, what a better way to just toss on some music or, whatever, your podcasts or what have you, and just tune out. Right. Just kind of go. I'll listen to an audio book. I'll listen to a podcast. I'll listen to binaural beats, like whatever. And it's just a nice way to like escape from the day and focus on yourself. And like, how about this, Josh, as we go to the end of the conversation, I'm curious, like, how much is it that people, they get stuck in, how do I phrase this? They get stuck in this mindset of like chasing catastrophes. And I guess that's the only way I can really phrase it, right? Like the whole, if it bleeds, it leads mentality for the news. You see it everywhere, right? Like it's always like, good evening, welcome to the Good Evening News. And here's going to tell you why it's not a good evening. Here's the top 5 worst stories you ever heard in your life. And that, like, I firmly believe in the idea of what you consume, both physically and what you eat, but also like what you absorb when you're listening to things or when you're reading things or you're watching things on the internet or on TV. Like you become what you consume in that regards too. And if you're only consuming the worst of the worst, I'm gonna make your dad's episode play, by the way, behind me. The worst of the worst stuffs, right? That will inevitably lead to what your brain feels, what your brain realizes. And like if you're listening to like, oh, the end of the world is tomorrow every single day, it's not good for you. It's toxic for you mentally. If you are only eating the garbage every single day, you're only eating the frappe, like my old coworker Julie was. Not good for you. And hey, Julie, I'm sorry. Like, she's not my employee anymore. I can say this. You could probably lose a few pounds, right? Like, that's just the reality, because when you're eating the garbage, your body's going to manifest that. So let's just, as we end this, Josh, what were some of the things, not from the physical side, but from the mental side, right? Because that is as equal, I would say, in trying to continue the journey, because it takes one bad day and you can say, what am I doing this for, right? What the heck am I doing this for? And if that one bad day triggers you to the extent that you're like, I'm done, it's all for naught. So what are some of the things you did mentally to keep yourself on track, to help make sure that as much as you are starting to consume the right things physically, you're also consuming the right things mentally to keep you kind of, pointing towards that proverbial North Star?
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Yeah. So whenever I wasn't on the phone doing work, I was on my I was listening to podcasts. I was listening to books. I have hundreds of books on Audible, and listen to that. Like, I don't know, I get like this recap of the year of how many minutes I've listened on Audible and all this stuff. So it's awesome. So we have all the tools. And so what I did is I started consuming anything and everything that I could find, as far as like, for me, I mean, I've been on this journey with my dad with John of nitric oxide therapy since 2011. And he was with his emergency appendectomy in 2007, where he discovered nitric oxide himself. And so
I think that's what he's talking about over my shoulder right
he
now, by
probably
the
is,
way.
right. That's why it reminded me. I looked at that. And so the fact that every day while I was walking, I was listening to the science, and I was listening to how I could transform our customer service department, and I created the wholesale department, and I created I had a hand in creating our affiliate plan and all this stuff. And now we have such an incredible opportunity to share with other people the good news. And if you're if you're taking Cardio Miracle and you're feeling better, how hard is it to tell people that you feel better? I mean, it's like whenever people are, you know, so they're wanting to share something, it's almost about bad news, because it's more exciting. And so what we've put together is we've put together this program, this professional referral program, that where people can share our product. They can get 20% back for sharing our product, and then if people buy, under your link, then they can get that money back. And then anyone that says Cardio Miracle is expensive, just share it with others, and you can get some money back. So that's exactly what I was doing every day. Was I was listening to podcasts, I was listening to books, trying to figure out how we could help the everyday consumer. Because my dad and I come my dad comes from financial planning, so he's always wanted to help people. He's always been able to put two and two together. But then we had this little stint where from 2009 to 2013, where we were in this multi-level marketing company, and we saw that like people at the top do really well, and then there's all these people underneath them that don't really do too well, but they're all required to buy, and they're all required to put money out. But then they're not, they can make some money but not a ton. And so my dad is like, I want to make sure that anyone who is referring our product, that they can make significant side incomes, and that they're not feeling like they're part of a pyramid scheme. I mean, we're a true affiliate program that we've put together so that people can benefit from it. They can share easily, and anyone can join it. And right now, anyone can join it for free. I mean, it's amazing that we've been able to do that. And I don't know. I'd like to do a shameless plug and encourage everybody to look at cardiomiraclehealth.com and look at our robust, affiliate professional referral program, because it's amazing, man. It's a really great program that we're throwing together. So.
Here, I'll like peek behind the curtain, folks. So I've been doing this with Cardio Miracle now since March of 23, back when John was on the show for the first time. And actually, it's not true. John was on the show in March of 23. I didn't start promoting this on the show until May of 23. You know why, Josh? I want to make sure that Cardio Miracle worked. And I tried Cardio Miracle. It took 2 months, and I saw the difference immediately. And I said, okay, this product, this is it. Like, I get it. I'm on board. And within, let's see, so we're going on year 2 now. So come May of 25, it'll be 2 years that I've had Cardio Miracle as an affiliate sponsor here of the show. And there's a reason I gave you guys the moniker of studio sponsor, Josh, because over the past 2 years, and folks, this is a real number, around $100,000 in product I've been able to help sell of Cardio Miracle. And that, from a commission standpoint, has helped us keep the lights on here, has helped us continue to grow the show. I mean, as we're recording here today, Josh, I think we're going to cross over 10,000 subscribers over on YouTube. We're watching on Twitter, our follower counts. I think we're over 17,500 right now. On Facebook, 46,000 on the one channel, 80-something thousand on the other channel. Like, we are growing leaps and bounds. And it's entirely because of the opportunity that Cardio Miracle has given us here at the show, in terms of when we promote Cardio Miracle, because it works, and you're able to, compensate me because obviously I believe in it and I want to support it. But also, to your point, you guys wanted to create a system where the affiliates can actually make some income on this. It can actually pay the bills, and it's helping me grow the show. So personally, I see the benefit of Cardio Miracle for my health, but also professionally speaking, from working with Cardio Miracle, the organization, the entity that is, you guys have helped us here at the Brian Nichols Show immeasurably. So I say thank you, because you and your dad have helped build an amazing product, an amazing company. When I talked to Lori Martin Gregory on the show here last episode, it's what I talked about with her too. Like, This product works. I wouldn't promote it unless it works. And I believe in it. I use it every single day. I was telling Lori how my daughter every morning and night sees me getting the scoops of Cardio Miracle, and she always looks at me and goes, Miracle, because she wants some too. Because it tastes good. It's a good, great, dare I say, a great, phenomenal, exquisite product, Josh. And for anybody who's on the fence, right? Try it. Give it a month or two. Just try it. I guarantee. And by the way, I've heard from you folks. I've seen the emails. I've seen the comments. I know you guys are seeing it work. So if that's not enough of a plug after the past 2 episodes to support Cardio Miracle, I don't know what would be. But if you need to go ahead and check out some other folks who are experiencing the Cardio Miracle difference for themselves, go to cardiomiracle.com. You'll see all the different links. I know we're going to have an ad here air for Cardio Miracle during our episode today. So as that popped up, if I don't know where I'm going to put in the commercial here today, but if it's after we do our little plug here, or if it happened beforehand, go back to that commercial. There's a little QR code, right? Just scan it with your phone. Boop. It'll bring you right to cardiomiracle.com. Check it out. Place your order. And yeah, you'll get a discount as well if you use that QR code. So guys, you have nothing left, nothing else to lose besides the high blood pressure, besides the high resting heart rates, besides those restless nights of sleep, besides that very lackluster pump at the gym, all that and more. I have found the value of Cardio Miracle. So that's my call to action, Josh. And I'm going to wrap things up there. And I'm going to leave it to you, Josh, to bring us home today. Final thoughts as we leave things with the audience. What do you want to promote here? And where can folks go ahead, reach out to you should they want to continue the conversation?
No, it's amazing, man. Thank you. Yeah. And just as far as resting heart rate goes, last night I just looked at mine actually, and last night I got down to 49 resting heart rate.
Dang,
So
gangster,
I
49?
yeah, I think it's just all due to my walking. I'm telling you.
Borderline salamander over there. No blood flow whatsoever.
No, and I understand the 49 is good. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's great.
I Googled that. I was like, but it says athletes have this, so I felt pretty good about that. But thank you. No, it's really exciting. The biggest takeaway that I guess I can throw out to anyone is just all of us have an opportunity to take our health into our own hands. And as I'm over here at the AmFest and kind of looking at these people and realizing what we're doing with our country right now, and how the direction that it's going, and how exciting things are that they're gonna happen, and they're gonna because we have a doer in the office now, and we're just trying to help people take their health into their own hands, and really and know that you are the orchestrator of that, and that you can do that. And we have a 60-day money back guarantee. People take advantage of that less than 1% of the time. And so with less than 1% of a return rate or refund rate, if you take the product correctly, it's almost guaranteed to work. So I hope that, everyone will take that challenge. You can reach out to me at josh@cardiomiracle.com. That's my personal email, or my work email that I check a million times a day. So would love to help anyone with that. We're expanding into Canada. We're getting more of a presence in Canada. We're expanding into India, expanding into Egypt, and it's really exciting time, man. I mean, Cardio Miracle just gonna. It's my goal to make sure that we're a household name. So very excited to be here on the show with you today, Brian. I appreciate your time, man.
Absolutely, Josh. And that's my goal too. Cardio Miracle needs to be a household name. And I'll do my darndest to make sure that we keep promoting Cardio Miracle every single episode. Because yes, Cardio Miracle is our phenomenal studio sponsor. And I'm so incredibly proud to have Cardio Miracle here as a part of the Brian Nichols Show team. So with that being said, folks, if you got some value from today's episode, besides going ahead and giving it a share, go to Cardio Miracle. Go get your order placed today. It should arrive hopefully here before the new year. What a great way to start your New Year's resolutions. And by the way, it does make a great gift. So Christmas is just, literally we're recording here 4 days before Christmas. So might be a little late, but maybe if it's the, oops, I forgot that gift for mom, like, maybe Cardio Miracle could be a nice fit. Or hey, if you're trying to get things started out for the new year, again, what a better way to start your New Year's resolution than the gift of heart health. So with that being said, I cannot promote Cardio Miracle enough. Please go give them some love. When you do use code TBNS at checkout, you're going to get 15% off your order, or just again, scan that little QR code back in our commercial here today for Cardio Miracle, folks. I am so thankful for you joining us here. This is our last episode we are recording before the new year. So if I don't hear from you folks, have a very, very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. And with that being said, please make sure you've hit that subscribe button, because we're going to be hitting back for the new year, of course, with amazing episodes, whether it's our Brian's briefings, our guest interviews, or our week in reviews with our good buddy Remzo Martinez. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because yes, we will make sure we start things off in 2025 with the goal of what? Educating, enlightening, and informing. With that being said, Brian Nichols signing off here on the Brian Nichols Show for Josh Hewlett. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Brian Nichols Show. Find more episodes at briannicholsshow.com.
Hey folks, I want to take a moment to talk about something that has truly changed my life, and that is Cardio Miracle, our incredible studio sponsor. Now, I'll be honest, when I first heard about Cardio Miracle and their claims about improving heart health, I was skeptical. But after using it for just about 2 months, I was absolutely blown away by the results. First, my blood pressure went from being consistently around 140/90 to a much more healthier and manageable 120/80. And my resting heart rate dropped from the low 70s to the high 50s. And I couldn't believe it. But the benefits didn't stop there. I started sleeping better, and I felt more energized at the gym, and my heart felt the best it's felt in years. And it's not just me. Hundreds of you, our amazing listeners, have reached out to share your own incredible experiences with Cardio Miracle. So, what is Cardio Miracle, and how does it work? It's a carefully crafted supplement that harnesses the power of nitric oxide to support optimal heart function. So by increasing nitric oxide levels in your blood, Cardio Miracle helps relax your blood vessels, improve circulation, and it protects your heart from damage. It's like giving your heart the support it needs to function at its best. And here's the best part. We've got an exclusive offer just for you, our loyal listeners here at the Brian Nichols Show. When you head over to cardiomiracle.com and use code TBNS at checkout, you'll get an extra 15% discount on your order. Plus, with their 100% money-back guarantee, you've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. So, if you're ready to take control of your heart health and experience the life-changing benefits of Cardio Miracle for yourself, just click the link in the show notes or video description. Trust me, your heart will thank you. And don't wait another day to prioritize your health. Join the tens of thousands of folks who have already discovered the Cardio Miracle difference. Head to cardiomiracle.com now and use code TBNS for 15% off your order. Your journey to a happier and healthier heart starts today. And now, let's get back to the show.